Hello, fellow tankers. My name is Relix.
And I'm Nagatron.
Welcome to our first episode back with the Jolly Shoutcast show. This week, Wargaming announces the ability to make roster changes. Nagatron gives us a breakdown of the tournament rankings thus far. We take a look at Week 6 map, Prokhorovka. I take a tiny peek into the Reliquary, and we give a shameless promotion for somewhere you should all be visiting. So, starting off here, I'd like to give a big welcome to Lord Farquaad here to give us a special announcement. So, welcome to the Shoutcast.
Thanks, Relix.
So, I hear you got big news on the playoffs here.
Yeah, so GD and I just finished finalizing the playoffs today, actually just a few minutes ago. And the playoffs themselves are going to be pretty simple. We'll have 28 guaranteed slots for the 28 division winners, and then 36 wild cards, and the seeding will be pretty much random on that based on points gained throughout the season.
So do we have any kind of info on what maps we're going to face, or is that going to be kind of dropped on us week by week so nobody has a chance to plan for it longer than another team maybe?
That will probably be announced right at the beginning of the playoffs, and so you'll get a list of maps. That's the most likely right now. So that's what you can expect for now. That may change still.
Okay. Just to clarify for the wild cards, so it's going to go by who's kind of like next in line in points for.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much whoever has the most points is going to get the wild cards. So if you're second place in your division, that doesn't guarantee you a slot if you have a lot less points than, the 36 other teams.
Okay. So that clears up a lot on how that's going to be picked.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thanks very much for coming on and letting us know how that's breaking down so far. Thanks a ton for taking all the player feedback and making this tournament, honestly, the best I've seen yet through World of Tanks. It's been a heck of a lot of fun going through, even with all the little technical issues and all that. Yeah, I think it's been great.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. To me, every time I see a technical issue, it's like my world is falling apart. But I'm glad to hear that everybody's still enjoying it.
Yeah, anything else you want to add, Nagatron?
Just that I think the division sorting has been great. There's a lot of really close races going on, number of divisions and 3-4-way ties. A lot of divisions are going to be decided in the last 2 weeks, so I'm really excited about what's to come, and I can't wait, especially for the next season, because I'm absolutely positive that all the little kinks are going to start getting smoothed out, and things are just going to get better and better from here.
All right, well, thanks again for coming out and seeing us.
Hey, no problem. Just from the Wargaming office, we want to thank you for doing your shoutcasting. It's become something that a lot of the people here in the office enjoy watching.
Well, thanks. We both appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the other tournament update we have. Wargaming just announced that they are going to allow some roster changes with a deadline of Thursday, May 3rd, which is going to be 2 days from now, or tomorrow, or possibly the day of, depending on when I actually get this out there. You'll be able to change up to a maximum of 5 players per team. Team sizes cannot be changed, so you cannot add members, only remove or swap them out. Sample valid reasons are violation of World of Tanks rules, inability to show up for matches, and refusal to participate in the tournament. To find more specific details on this, you can look at the World of Tanks news section linked somewhere on the video at the top here. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the division updates going on here. Nagatron, you've been looking at a lot of this. What do you see?
Well, in particular, I see about 6 very important battles that are coming up this week. Start off in somewhat numerical order here. Division 12, we've got Pig versus Slap, and this one is really make or break for Pig, as Slap is the last of the top 4 teams that they have yet to face, so if they win this one, they're really going to lock up their division. In Division 16, Havoc versus Armad. Havoc, again, like Pig in the last division, only has Armad left to face before they completely lock up their own division as well. Division 18, same deal for Iron Wolves versus Roka. They need to beat Roka, and then they own Division 18. Division 19, Imperial Legion Bravo versus Pony Goons. This one I've been waiting for. Both teams really need to win this because they're both in a point tie. So whoever comes out of this is almost guaranteedly going to win Division 19. Division 22 is Elvis versus Shock and Awe. Shock has won, I think, all of their battles at this point, and they only have Elvis left to face, so that should be interesting. And finally, Division 25 is Bringing the Metal versus Team Sknat, and this is bringing the battle's last major hurdle to their title as well. Other battles with serious implications towards final point standings. We've got Camp of Nomads versus Lethal Interjection Crew, who are fighting over the second place position or potential wildcard position in Division 3. Division 5 is Affirmative Action versus Nuke. This one is particularly interesting because while Nuke most likely can't climb their way to the top again, they can drag AA's point total down, which gives Care Bear and Starry Night a chance to actually step up and take that lead away from Affirmative Action. If you remember last week, they were actually in a 4-way tie. So that one could be very interesting. Division 9, Wolfpack will be facing Thunderbirds, which is their second to last stop before they own the title. If they beat Thunderbirds here, Wolfpack that is, they will have to finally test their mettle against Storm in round 8. Division 13, we've got Anzac versus King. They face off in a battle to separate their 3-way tie with Relic's Corky Brigade. Division 14 is 116th Windhound versus ACA. Very important for both teams in their overall standings in the end. Division 17, Cazadors versus the Wrecking Crew 2. This one will be important as the race is very tight amongst the top 4 in their division, with each of them only having lost to the other leading teams. So whoever comes out on this one stands a lot better chance at coming out on top in the end. Division 20, Incarnation of Evil versus Tank Busters. Again, another 4-way tie that will be broken depending on who wins this, or if they draw out, maybe both of them will step down with the other two teams taking the lead. Division 24 is Hardware Rus versus Sturm Grenadier, and with that one, it's very important for Rus to win this if they want to stay in the top 3. This is really their last chance before the point total just becomes too much for them to get out. And the reason it's important that they beat Sturm Grenadier is because Sturm has a point lead on them, and by winning, they actually bring their point totals equalized. So as far as important battles, that's really all that we've got this week. There may be one or two that have kind of slipped through the cracks, but these are the ones that stood out amongst all 28 divisions as games to watch.
Yeah, it sounds like that's a lot of big names there, and hopefully we'll see a lot of these battles. A lot of exciting matchups there with Storm Grenadier and Rus and a lot of other big names that I'd like to see.
Definitely. I'm really hoping everybody in these battles sends in replays because it could be epic.
All right, well, I look forward to seeing them. All right, so let's go ahead and do a map breakdown here for Week 6. We're looking at Prokhorovka. Prokhorovka is a very large map with lots of open area to traverse. It is divided into 3 main sections formed from the north to south. The first section is the Western Forest. The terrain follows many small hills and dips and is dotted with lots of bushes and trees following a long road. Provides limited sight lines, very strong camouflage throughout. Anyone utilizing this forest will want to have excellent forward spotters or find themselves surprised by tanks appearing only a few feet away. So we could see a lot of interesting rushes through that section there. The second section takes up the majority of the map, and that's obviously the middle here. The majority of the field is extremely vulnerable to artillery fire. However, it has a lot of small valleys for tanks moving through to hide in. Separating the center from the east is a long stretch of train tracks with only 3 passable sections. It provides kind of a natural funnel here for tanks to try to either enter or exit the center. These tracks are elevated with lots of bushes lining it to provide extra camouflage and some west-east cover. The final section here is the Eastern City and Hill. From each team's starting point, they have to cross a great deal of open area to get to it. However, should they reach the city, they will find multiple buildings for cover. Notably, all of those buildings are destructible, so that could be a big key thing for artillery. Another key point of control for that point of the map is the large hill overlooking the city. Any teams looking to carve their path to the east side of the map will want to make sure they have control of that hill, as the visibility and crossfire it offers is absolutely needed to hold it. I expect this is going to be another one of those maps we'll see with drastically different loadouts and strategies, much like we saw on Kumarin, where we were seeing a lot of going roundabout and such, because everyone's going to have a different idea on really how to control this map. The center is far too open to be vulnerable for any kind of pushes or anything, so aggressive teams are really going to be either rushing through that western or eastern village area. Most likely, I'm expecting we'll see a lot of teams playing defensively in the forest. since that's kind of like what you see naturally in the standard matches. So a lot of people are going to have practice with that, and that may be what they're comfortable with, and they'll probably stick with that. Artillery is going to be really big in early spotting, since it's such a large area to bombard across everywhere. Strong artillery players, as I mentioned before with the city, those destructible buildings, you're going to want to do a lot of coordinated fire. Try to knock those people out that are bunkered down between those and aren't moving around. And likewise, tank forces want to utilize the train tracks as cover as much as possible, since that's the most undestructible area you can go through. And you don't want to linger too long behind any kind of city cover. Otherwise, as I mentioned, artillery is probably going to start knocking you out and get rid of those buildings in front of you. So I expect to see a lot of really interesting moves, a lot of slow play probably on this map this week. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump over to the Reliquary. I know, clever name. So, first question we have today is, would Fog of War be nice? You want to go ahead and tackle that?
Sure. I have some decent experience with Fog of War from Clan Wars, and while I find it a very great addition for 15-on-15 battles, I think it would seriously cause problems in tournament structure or these 90-point battles, simply because it's going to make everybody more apt to apply gimmicks, rush a whole lot of mediums, things like that. Things that will work one time, and when you only have one battle, that's a big issue. It would basically turn the game into a big mess of rock, paper, scissors for tournaments, and that's not where we want to go with it. Whereas now, when you load up and you can see what the other team brings, say they bring 10 tier 9 mediums, you know instantly that they're going to rush all of them. So therefore, they can't rush all of them, maybe say, up the 6th line of Prokhorovka here, and then they're in your backfield and killing your artillery before you even know it. And if they delay their team long enough, then all your heavies are on the other side of the railroad, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And it's those kinds of strategies that we'd really like to avoid in these things. It was what I would expect from wargaming. So I highly doubt that we'll see Fog of War in anything less than 150 points.
Yep, I totally agree with all of that. So let's go ahead and tackle the next question, which was, what made you guys want to start doing the Shoutcast? Did you all have any background doing it in other games? I don't know as far as Nagatron. Me, myself, I have no background doing Shoutcasts in other games. But this all kind of started with the 5v5 tournaments when people were wanting to see exactly what was happening in them, and along with the Ultimate Conquest tournament, and we just tossed together some videos and threw some cheesy music on it. And then once the Classics started up, it really built into adding in the commentary to everything, and frankly, it's been a lot of fun.
I personally have never done any shoutcasting before, which is probably fairly obvious to all of our listeners. The real reason why I got interested in it was just, it was something that we didn't have in the community right now, and I'm very interested in seeing esports in this game develop for all of our benefit, and I think that this is one step towards that goal.
I think we can both agree that this has been a heck of a lot of fun doing over this past couple months.
Absolutely.
Alright, so let's go ahead and do our shameless plug of the week.
Well, we've got a lot of questions about people asking where you can find the mods, that kind of thing. Right now, I'm part of a team that is working on getting Curse support towards World of Tanks mods. So right now, if you head to the Curse page, curse.com, look for the World of Tanks add-ons. We'll supply you a link in the description here. You'll be able to find any of the mods that we've so far had permission to put on there. We're trying to get other authors to start posting their own materials, so it's sort of like a centralized point for all World of Tanks players around the world. We've recently hired on a Russian translator. We're looking at getting some other translators just to make sure that everybody can come to one place to serve all their World of Tanks needs.
All right, very good stuff. It's glad to see that happening. It's definitely been a lot easier on me finding mods and switching stuff around, especially when I don't have to make you do it all for me anyways. All right, well, that is it for this week's show. Join us next week where we'll take a look at Round 7's map, Cliff, and do another breakdown of how the tournament's going so far, who won their matches, what's the next big thing we need to look out for. Please, everybody, remember to send your replays to jolly.q.gaming@gmail.com, and we'll go ahead and take a look at them, see if we can do some shoutcasts on them for you. Thanks, everyone, and have a great night.